conservatives are really out here acting like, oh, this shouldn't have gotten leaked. Oh no, oh no. Why aren't you mad about the human rights violation? Are you freaking stupid? And we're back. Okay. It's been a while. What's up? How's everyone doing? I haven't done a video like this in quite some time, and that time truly didn't treat me well. I mean, just look at me. I feel like a fucking mess, man. I'm in grad school and I'm working as a graduate research assistant. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm tired. And by the way, if you... Oh my god. What the hell? Why would you... Don't drop my cushions while I'm recording, please. Thank you. Sorry about that. Anyways, it's been a while. I'm in Iowa now. I don't know why. Don't ask me. Supreme Court. Preliminary voting got leaked. Looks like we're gonna overturn Roe v. Wade. Looks like we don't care about human rights. So let's talk about it. So why am I talking about it? Well, I'm a social worker. I care about these type of things. And two, I'm seeing a lot of people that I know in my feed tweeting things like, oh, this Roe v. Wade shit tells me that you guys don't know how to be responsible for your own actions. Shut the f up. Have you ever heard of human trafficking? Incest?
The price will be paid by those that have been raped and who are victims of incest.
Not that that should be the only reason people should have rights over their own bodies, but come on, man. Like, what the f? Okay, so anyways, I decided this is something I want to talk about. Let's cut to it. All right, Roe v. Wade, 1973. The Supreme Court ruling that grants women the rights over their own bodies, and so if they choose to have an abortion, that right is protected under the Constitution without excessive government restriction. I read that on Google, but... However, conservatives and Republicans have went out of their way, even before that, to ensure that they do what they can to stop women from having rights over their own bodies.
How dare they?
How dare they?
So what's going on right now? What is all the panic about? So the Supreme Court, 6 Republican judges and 3 Democratic judges had a preliminary hearing on their decision for Roe v. Wade in February, and their decision got leaked this week. So basically, their decision right now is to remove the protections that grant women or people with uteruses a right to an abortion.
This is an evil group of people who don't care about anybody here.
So if you live in a blue state, your state can still support your right to have an abortion. But if you live in a red state, they can make whatever laws they want, banning abortions outright. So that's that. So this didn't come out of nowhere. As we already know, conservatives and Republicans have been trying to stop people from having autonomy over their own bodies for a very long time, unfortunately, because they can't keep out of other people's businesses. I'm sorry, if you're a conservative and you still follow me, by the way, just stop. If you're a Republican and you still follow me, stop. Unless you're willing to like have a conversation, I guess. But hey, if you're unhinged about your views, this channel is no longer a safe space. I don't give a f. I am not here to play politics. I'm here to just advocate for what I believe in. So because Republicans and conservatives have been wanting to take away women's rights forever, we have seen a surge of abortion bans pop up throughout the United States. So Mississippi proposes the 15-week abortion ban that basically shortens the time that women have to get an abortion, and afterwards it'd be illegal for women to get an abortion regardless of if they were a victim to human trafficking, sexual assault, or incest. Texas, obviously, I'm sure you guys have all heard of the 6-week abortion ban, giving women and people with uteruses only 6 weeks to get an abortion legally. I think it goes without stating that 6 weeks is not enough for someone to know whether or not they're pregnant. And Florida has their own version of the 15-week abortion ban, basically saying the same thing, which I did a 15-page paper on for my policy course, which is part of the reason why I want to talk about it, basically outlining how Florida is one of the many states that is following this chain of creating copycat bills, which is now signed into law, by the way. Governor DeSantis had signed the 15-week abortion ban into law on April 14th, and it'll be enacted July 1st. And if Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade, if their official decision reflects this preliminary voting, then all of these abortion bans can continue to exist and even have changes to them that worsen conditions for women and people with uteruses without facing any legal challenges from its citizens. So if you're someone who believes, yo, abortion bans are good, people need to take responsibilities for their own act, let's just entertain this for a little bit, okay? First of all, even if you believe, if your own ethical standards won't allow you to have an abortion, if you might need one, might not need one, whatever. What makes you feel that you want to impose that onto other people? Governor DeSantis said he wanted to strengthen
protections for the right to life itself,
implying that the people who want to have a child, their right to have a child needs to be protected. Bro, if you want to have a child, there's very little stuff stopping you from having a child. If you don't want to have a child, you should have the right to not have that child. So that statement makes no sense, because by saying that you're protecting people who want to promote or uphold the right to life itself, whatever the freak that means, you are taking away women having autonomy over their own bodies. You're taking away protections from one group by acting like you're creating protections for another group that already had a protection in place. You could probably say that Ron DeSantis was talking about the fetus having the right to life, but acting like abortion is murder is very, very similar to the sentiments that Florida State Representative Erin Grahl had said. She's the one who filed the 15-week abortion ban back in January 11th. She stated, hang on, I have the report. I wrote the paper, so I don't want to misquote her. She ugly as hell too. I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk shit, but I hope you're seeing this, Erin. You're ugly. I'm such an asshole. She says the discussion is no longer just about that woman's body because there's two bodies. Basically implying that quality of health and quality of life is insignificant as long as women are having babies.
This isn't about abortion, because if it was, we would take care of the children that we currently have. We do not.
Okay, so statistically speaking, women of color, especially black women, have higher rates of abortion than white women or women of a higher socioeconomic class. So why is that? So a lot of pro-lifers look at this and say, see, the healthcare system and healthcare providers are trying to exploit black women. No, that's not how it works, okay? Even if that was the case, first of all, isn't it really interesting how selective conservatives are when they want to bring in the topic of racial inequality? They want to talk about race when they want to twist a narrative, but when black people advocate for themselves, conservatives tell them, no, you should have complied. No, you should have listened to the police officer. Like, just look in the mirror. So conservatives are acting like banning abortions will stop healthcare providers from quote unquote taking advantage of people of a lower socioeconomic class, when in reality, what would actually help is tackling the health disparities and equity issues that conservatives turn a blind eye towards. If conservatives really cared about protecting the quality of life, then you would see better policy around income inequality, better policy around families that need help and financial support, especially during the pandemic, and especially those who are victims to systemic oppression and systemic racism. So no Ron DeSantis, no Erin Grahl, don't make it about a race thing when you don't give a fuck about black people. All you really care about is enhancing and upholding the pillars of patriarchy and white supremacy, where white straight men are still the majority and have control over women's bodies. Don't believe me? I wrote a research paper on it. Check this out. According to the abortions timeline provided by Planned Parenthood, the surge in immigration in the early 1900s instilled a fear in white men, prompting them to support abortion bans to enforce pregnancies amongst upper-class white women. Basically, white people in the 1900s were scared of the immigration and scared of becoming the minority. If they ban abortions, then they can force more upper-class white women to have their babies. White men having more babies with white women would ensure the majority of white people and relieve any white man's fear of brown people and black people taking over. And you know, brother, as long as we're having white babies, they're not gonna take over my country, brother. I'm telling you right now, brother. I'm sorry to the white men who are allies. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the racist white men. Okay? Okay, thank you. That's right, brother. So I want to circle back about how abortion bans just lead to more late-term abortions and or unintended childbirths. So late-term abortions is still going to be a luxury to those who have the resources to cross state borders in which abortions are legal, so they can obtain an abortion if they need it, right? First of all, there are states that are proposing bills that make it illegal to cross the state border to get an abortion. Like, how much control do you need? Weird flex, but okay. So when you don't have the resources to cross state borders, you're probably gonna be forced into unintended childbirth. And unintended childbirths are associated with decreased opportunities for education and paid employment. When you are forced into having a baby, when you are not capable of being able to raise one, it obviously forces you into a tough financial situation where it's harder to get a job, it is harder to work a job, full time at the very least, and it's harder to complete an education.
Motherhood is too important to force on anybody.
And I swear to God, if you're one of those people, well, I had a baby and I went through college, And I finished it. All right, first of all, great, congratulations, amazing. Is it that hard to admit that hardships operate on a spectrum and that you're one of the people who are lucky enough to still finish their education? There are people who have it way harder than you, who probably won't have that luxury if they're forced to having a baby. And then you could say, well, why don't they give it up for adoption? Are you like so detached from your empathy that you aren't aware of the traumas and the mental health issues that come along with going through pregnancy, 9 months of carrying a baby, and then having to just give it up? And then people call you a bad mother. Like, oh my God, like I just, you would think that conservatives would just think a little bit. Something would turn. Instead, all there is, like something is stuck up there. Sorry, I'm like really angry. I feel like the more I'm talking, the more angrier I'm getting. And that doesn't even mention the fact that, hey, you can ban abortions all you want. It's not gonna prevent women from having an abortion.
And at the end of the day, it won't stop people from getting abortion. It will stop people from getting safe abortion.
Obviously, one, is dangerous. If you're not having a health professional take care of that for you. And two, it's another opportunity for the criminal justice system to abuse its power and send women to jail. We could totally go into the problems with the criminal justice system and the prison system, but we'll make time for that another day. That's a whole nother can of worms to unpack. If you're forcing women to carry out an abortion, it's only gonna increase the health disparities that cause marginalized populations to have higher rates of abortions. That 15-week abortion ban that I mentioned from Florida, the appropriations for it is over like $1,600,000. Just put that money towards education, towards communities that need it, towards families that need it. Just take away a little bit of the billions and trillions of dollars you give to the police. So, last note I want to touch on. There's a lot of people saying this is not the final decision. No need to panic. Stop spreading fear. First of all, everyone has the right to be angry about this. This is very scary. This is not spreading fear or spreading misinformation. The Supreme Court literally ruled that they want to overturn Roe v. Wade. You should be angry about this. You should have your voices heard. I don't think these people understand that conservatives don't give a fuck about what you think. If conservatives are in power, they're gonna make sure their agenda is met. So just think about all of the protests against the Don't Say Gay bill, the 6-week abortion ban in Texas, everyone who supports Black Lives Matter. Conservatives don't care. If they're in power, they're gonna flex it. So no, don't be afraid to spread this information. Don't be afraid to talk your shit. Everyone who cares about women's rights should be making this a huge deal. Everyone who cares about human rights in general should be making this a huge deal. Conservatives are really out here acting like, oh, this shouldn't have gotten leaked. Oh no, oh no. Why aren't you mad about the human rights violation? Are you freaking stupid? Sorry about that. Anyways, guys, the only way to tackle this is to make sure we let our voices heard, go out and protest, go out and let your local representatives know about how you feel about this.
And I have seen the power that we have. I have seen the energy that we have. We are prepared to fight, and we will stand our ground. We will not back down. We will not falter. Also, by the way, if you're becoming a social worker and you don't care about this, that is messed up, because this is absolutely a social justice issue, and social workers are obligated to uphold social justice. Women having rights over their own bodies is absolutely a social justice issue. If you're a social worker, you're probably dealing with a lot of clients that are probably impacted by a potential abortion ban, and it is your duty to advocate for them, and it's your duty to uphold social justice. Not doing or saying anything about this is you violating your role as a social worker. So just wanted to put that out there. So anyways, I'm sorry for the depressing video. I hope that everyone who is impacted by this are able to access the support they might need, whether it's mental, physical, emotional. This is a very scary time, and I think everyone has the right to be scared, angry, and frustrated about this. Please take time for yourself. Try to find a safe space if you haven't already. I know it's easier said than done, but when you are out here fighting the good fight, you also need a support system to go back to heal, to rejuvenate, and to love yourself.
Don't let rage suck up all your precious energy. Make room for joy. Remember the people you care about. Remember the people you love.
Anyways, I'm sorry if I missed anything. There's a lot here to uncover. I love you all. Appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. I should probably stop recording. Oh shit. I've been sitting here like 10 minutes after the video ended.